Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to showcase how I solved Satan himself on the Platypwn CTF 2024. Originally, I was not going to play this challenge at all. I wanted to start off with some web problems and go from there. But for the first few hours of the CTF, none of the web challenges were available, so I decided to give this one a shot. And I think I ended up being the first person to solve it, which I'm very happy about. I have a video of me doing it somewhere. I'll pull it up if I can find it. I highly recommend playing this before continuing if you haven't. It's a lot of fun. And let's get started by reading the description. This challenge was made by Satan himself. He chose the worst of esoteric programming languages just to see the world burn. Good luck exploring hell itself, and don't forget to halt here and there to feel the pain. So, after downloading the file and being greeted with this, I thought, surely this is some sort of esoteric language, and I spent some time looking for something that looked like this, and I came across Malbolge. This language is made to be as hard to write in as possible. It's so hard to write in that it took 2 years for the first program to be written in it, which is a wonderful sign. At this point, obviously, I knew nothing. I'll explain more about it as needed, but for now, the only thing that I knew was that it shared the same name as the 8th Circle of Hell in Dante's Inferno. And I thought that goes along with the theme pretty well, so surely I'm on the right track. So the first thing I did was just put it through an interpreter to see what happens, and nothing happens. I was a little bit scared. I put it through a couple of other interpreters, and nothing also happened. I tried an assembler, and that didn't work. I tried like a fork of this language called Malbolge Unshackled, which is supposed to be worse, but there was just not as much information on that as I wanted there to be, so I decided to just look at this again first. Eventually, I came across this debugger, and I just kind of threw this in, and then highlighted every function, and then ignored whatever this was. I just saw, or I looked at whatever these assembly instructions did, one step at a time, just to see if I could, make out any idea of what was going on. And I realized that all this program really does is jump to somewhere in the middle of the program and halts. And I remembered that in the description, it says, don't forget to halt here and there to feel the pain. So I assumed that finding the flag had something to do with getting rid of this halt and, continuing the rest of the program. But I felt like I needed to know, anything about the language before continuing. So I spent a lot of time, trying to learn this language, and I didn't. I have a couple of concepts, though, that I'm going to explain, which is all you really need to figure out the flag. So, essentially, this language rewrites itself on runtime and also uses its own code as data, which will be useful in a second. But more importantly, there are only 8 functions in the language, and one character represents one function in that language. But the character you use to represent that function changes depending on where in the file you are, according to this chart. Thankfully, this debugger had something called normalization, which just changes, every character in the code to a single, character per function, so it made it a lot easier to read. You can see over here that it's already done in the code part, which makes it really easy. So at this point, all I did was just go through each step of the program and then changed each function to all 7 of the other ones and hoped that something would change like that. But this time it just crashed. After going through the first 3 steps, nothing really happened. Or on the 3rd step, you start to see that, or I think I used the wrong character. you start to see that there's an output being made. It's continuing to the bottom of the program. It's a bunch of garbage, but, there's some sort of progress. And eventually, I had a lot of trouble. Wait, hold on. Let's go back to the original code. When trying to find the 5th step, or I guess the 4th step, this one right here, I didn't know that in the previous step, this O was actually changed from a different character. Like, I tried Control-Fing and reading through the text. Wait, hold on, let me go before. As you can see, originally it was a V and then a less than symbol V. But it became an O at the end and then also shift upward. But once I got to it, it gave out the flag. Overall, I think this took about an hour, 45 minutes. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for watching.